WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for staying up with us tonight. Shuffling schedules and redesigning classrooms, local school districts have been making a lot of changes to keep students healthy when they come back to school. There's another big challenge, keeping them safe on the ride to and from the schoolhouse. Our Stephanie Poole hops on the bus for the story.
The Starkville-Oktibbeha Consolidated School District is mapping out transportation plans, and things are looking a little different. Transportation Director Kelvin Gibson says they're going through a checklist before inviting students back on the bus.
We're going to go through all of the COVID-19 recommendations pertaining to the cleanliness and disinfecting. So a normal day for us, which is not normal anymore, but a normal day for us is going to be to make sure our buses are already swept, cleaned, and disinfected.
Temperatures will be checked before loading, and after each ride, a fogger will be used to eliminate germs.
It will cover all of the areas of the bus, places that we call high-touch areas. Also, we're going to be using hand sanitizers for the children as they load the bus. We're going to have bus monitors on there that's going to be passing out masks to keep everyone safe.
One of the biggest concerns is how children will be seated. Only one child is allowed per seat. However, family members in the same household are able to sit together.
We'll start loading a child here up against the window. Then we'll place another child here up against the window. And we'll continue to do it throughout the bus as we load. And as we reach the school building, we'll start unloading from the front. And what that is going to do is going to continue that space and that safest environment of social distancing on the school bus.
Gibson says over 20 routes are listed for pickup. He's developing a safe way to get students to their classes.
That would allow me to actually consolidate some routes maybe, or just be creative with the way we transport. Because some areas are, we have a high volume of students in apartment complexes and things like that. So that challenge would be met by simply being able to consolidate some of the routes and actually really have a defined number of students that we're actually going to be working with.
Reporting in Oktibbeha County, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
The district is still doing a head count on how many students will be riding buses. Gibson is encouraging parents to make sure they keep students at home if they're showing any virus symptoms. The district will continue to release more details as they are developed. As if masks weren't enough to worry about, you also still need shots. Schools still require vaccinations from all students. That's why Molina Healthcare and Access Family Health Services held a vaccine fair today in Smithville. The shots are needed for children to attend school. Children and their families could sign in here for free immunizations.
We want to make sure that all the kids get their vaccinations and that they are up to date.
So I think people actually understand the importance of getting the immunization. So, and if we don't do that, then some of these diseases are reappearing too. So it's definitely something that's very important.
The shots were free, and so were the gifts. Students got backpacks and $25 gift cards from Dollar General. Families were also provided confirmation of vaccination. School supplies are available for Starkville students. Families need to plan to drive through to pick them up. Now, this is happening Saturday in the Circle Drive at the Emerson Family School on Louisville Street. Victoria King, a family specialist with the Starkville-Oktibbeha County School District, says making sure that students get school supplies is just as important this year.
This event annually helps parents, and the parents are always excited for this event to come around. So I think this is something they look forward to year-round.
Starkville families can drive through on Saturday between 10 a.m. and noon.
A band of showers and thunder showers coming on into the region this evening. That's our time lapse from Louisville, Mississippi. A little bit of rain out there, but most of us getting a little bit of a breeze, and that was just about it. A little bit of an outflow boundary coming on through. Can't rule out a few sprinkles here, but really that is done. We've got some 70s and 80s out there right now, and it looks like we'll be trending down into the mid to low 70s tonight. We'll gradually clear things out. Another pretty quiet night for us here, much like the last few. Tomorrow, low and mid 90s again, much like today. Highs will be extremely warm. The heat index may be over 100. We'll have some spotty storms around. So that's more of the same for us. We have a new tropical storm just forming, Hannah, official down here in the Gulf of Mexico. This is moving west towards Texas. It will not have any bearing on our weather, but we'll have an update on that, plus your full 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Mississippi's COVID numbers are not as high today, tracking below 1,000 for the first time in a few days. Now, there were 982 new cases and 13 deaths reported. But the real strain is being felt in the state's medical centers. There are 950 Mississippians hospitalized with the virus, and state leaders are expecting many of those patients to have extended stays. Now, the goal of any COVID-19 plan from the state has always been to ensure all Mississippians who need quality care can get that quality care. But as this crisis drags out and worsens, some of that quality may have to be sacrificed because the space just won't be there. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
Painting a picture of a system under strain. UMMC Vice Chancellor Dr. Lou Ann Woodward sharing this graphic today on the current situation. The opening line stating that the crisis in Mississippi is worsening and the outlook for hospitals is, quote, grim. The plea, wear a damn mask. Many of those sentiments echoed in comments from the State Hospital Association.
Hospitals are all being faced with the challenge downstream of where we should have stepped up on the front end and tried to do more to prevent the spread.
The final line, healthcare is doing its part. Now do your part. Hashtag please don't make this worse for us. That tweet being shared by other hospitals and even Dr. Thomas Dobbs.
Hospitals are doing everything they possibly can to help solve this problem. We need the public's help.
The short-term contingency plans include things like asking hospitals to activate their surge plans and reserve certain amounts of ICU space for COVID-19 patients. But what about the long-term plans?
There are a lot of things that can be done, and at some point we may well have to open up a ward-style location in a non-traditional place like you've seen in other states. I regret that we're getting to the point where that's a real reality, but we're looking at the logistics of doing that.
Dobbs says it won't just be a new look outside the hospitals, but inside them as well.
No, we're going to be sticking patients in every nook and cranny of a hospital while we're standing up that capability. It's going to be stressful to work in a hospital. I would want you to thank your neighbors and friends who work in healthcare because it's been tough up to now. It's about to get even tougher.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Governor Tate Reeves anticipates a statewide executive order in the coming days as coronavirus cases continue to surge. The COVID crisis is still running on two tracks, health and economy. There are still millions of people out of work. In fact, 1.4 million workers filed new claims for unemployment benefits in the last week. That's the first increase in weekly claims since March. And as CBS's Nancy Cortez tells us, this comes just days before a $600 a week jobless benefit is set to expire.
Roughly 30 million Americans are now relying on unemployment checks. That's 1 in 5 U.S. workers whose finances are suddenly up in the air because of a Washington fight.
Why do they have to make a fuss over $600, which means a lot to many working families?
Expanded unemployment benefits, $600 extra per person per week, are due to run out at the end of this month. Unless Congress acts, states will start cutting smaller checks next week.
I can't express the level of rage that I have.
Britton Foster's benefits in New York will revert to $178 a week.
I can't pay my rent on that. I can't pay mine and my daughter's phone bill, our power bill, our car insurance, and our internet.
House Democrats passed a bill 2 months ago to extend the $600 benefit through January. But Senate Republicans said that's too generous and held off.
We can't give people a disincentive to go back to work. We'll never recover from this if we're all at home watching Netflix.
Today, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin proposed a new formula to give jobless workers 70% of their former wages.
If you were making $300, you're not going to get $600 this time, and that's fair.
Look, Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
The unemployment insurance that we passed has kept more people out of poverty than just about anything else that's been passed. People need to feed their families.
At this point, it is highly unlikely that Congress will be able to craft a compromise before the deadline. And so Republican sources concede there likely will be a short-term lapse in these expanded benefits before the benefits return in some form in August. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The families of some current and former inmates have a message for judges today. The time does not fit the crime. At a news conference today in West Point, the presidents of the NAACP chapters of Lowndes, Oktibbeha, Clay, and Noxubee counties talked about the need for criminal justice reform. The NAACP is speaking on behalf of many families who want judges in the 16th Circuit Court District to consider parole recommendations. They say many sentences are excessive for nonviolent crimes.
The sentencing laws in the 90s was so severely harsh and burdensome on people. 60 years for the sale of $20 worth of drugs. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, you can't even get that kind of time. But what has happened is the people who receive that time are being left behind. They're being left behind. It's Anthony Swift. And I'm here on
the local
behalf
chapters say they hope the circuit judges will give parole consideration to people with older sentences. All right, we're going to send things back over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith, another summer day in Mississippi. What do you say?
We've just been living through these day after day. Some quiet mornings, some afternoon showers and thunder showers, some of those trying to build on into the region this evening. We caught that with our Columbus time lapse. A lot of that running out of steam after sunset. In Columbus tomorrow, some low 70s at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll bubble up a chance for some of those showers and storms in the afternoon. I'm back with your weekend forecast plus a look at the tropics next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Well, if you enjoyed today, you will love tomorrow. You will love the weekend. Let's start out with our First Alert forecast. And we've got Bandit and Gracie just chilling there by the window. Best buds. Some friendly kitty cats here. Mostly sunny early on Friday, partly cloudy by noon. And then from late morning through the afternoon and into the early to mid-evening hours, a chance for some of those spotty storms. Now, the pavement temperatures get very hot this time of year, so consider that if you will be walking Fido. Go early, go late. Stay on the grass. That is our suggestion here. Tomorrow, low to mid-90s. The heat index around 100, if not a little bit higher than that. So just like the last couple of days here. Pretty warm through your Saturday and Sunday, mid-90s here too. And then temperatures will be cooling down a little bit for the middle of next week as our rain chances go back up. For the beach down here in Gulf Shores this weekend, upper 80s Saturday, Sunday, a bit breezy. Scattered storms possible, and there's a medium chance for some rip currents because we have some tropical activity in the Gulf of Mexico. Hannah, the 8th named storm now in the Atlantic season, has been busy, getting busier by the second here. We showed you this in first weather. This thing is very impressive from satellite imagery. It's slowly moving, getting very well organized now. It is a minimal storm, but it's expected to strengthen just a little bit, but not become a hurricane at this point. We'll wait and see, though. But this will make landfall in Texas, southern Texas by the weekend. And there's going to be a lot of rain grazing the Gulf Coast and then really getting soaked down here in deep South Texas, maybe up to 10 inches of rain in some spots. So that's the first tropical system, or at least the closest one to the United States right now. Gonzalo still out here flaring back up this evening way out there in the Atlantic. This is expected to become a hurricane sometime as we get into your Saturday, and it may weaken a little bit as it gets back into the Caribbean Sea. We'll keep watching that. And we have a Cat 4 storm. Douglas out here in the Pacific, look at that eye. This actually is making a beeline towards the Hawaiian Islands by the weekend too, probably in a much weakened state, but still some active weather in the Pacific and the Atlantic. Now for us, we'll have some showers and storms start to build on up during the daytime heating tomorrow. Those will go away probably mid-evening, and then we'll have a quiet night tomorrow night, and we will do this all again for Saturday. A quiet morning right here. Get your yard work done early, and then we'll see some showers and storms bubble on up during the course of the afternoon hours here this weekend. Highs will be quite warm, but we are turning down a little bit for the middle of next week with those higher rain opportunities. Scott?
The high school football tour checks in with a team who wants to make Tiger Town into Title Town. That's coming up a little later in sports.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. Each year, an estimated 6.8 million people in the U.S. donate blood, and right now, Baptist Memorial Golden Triangle says it's low on blood supply. We learn more about blood donation in tonight's Health Talk.
Hi, I'm Sandy Kilburn, medical technologist and supervisor of the blood bank at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. I want to talk to you about some facts about donating blood. Did you know that just 1 pint of blood can help save up to 3 lives? Donating blood is safe and easy. It is a sterile procedure and you cannot contract any diseases from donating. You must be 16 years old or older and weigh at least 110 pounds to qualify as a donor. Here at Baptist Golden Triangle, we hold a United Blood Services blood drive every 3 months. Here are some tips for getting through the donation process faster. Bring personal identification, preferably an ID that has your picture and full name. Some acceptable forms of ID include a driver's license, work or school ID, or passport. Bringing along your blood donor card will help you get through the registration process quickly. If you don't have one, please ask the staff to order one for you. Bring a list of all countries, cities, or areas you have visited with dates in the past 12 months. Wear a top with loose-fitting sleeves so that you can get your blood pressure checked. Make an appointment. Donors with appointments are taken before walk-ins. To make an appointment, visit the website, unitedbloodservices.org. Be a donor. Make a difference. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Now, Baptist will be having a blood drive tomorrow at the Outpatient Pavilion Conference Center from noon until 5. Donors will also be tested for COVID-19 antibodies. The high school football tour checks in tonight with the Knoxville County Tigers. We see that preview next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
We continue the high school football tour with a team that's determined to right last season's wrong to the end of the year, the Knoxville County Tigers. The defending 3A North half champs are on a mission to end this season with a win and the gold ball. Knoxville County is stop number 32 on the high school football tour.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
In 2019, the Knoxville County Tigers were 1 win away from bringing home the program's 6th state championship. Now the team enters the season with 1 goal in mind.
All we're talking about is finishing. We got to the big game last year. We didn't come out with the outcome that we wanted. So this year is all about finishing. Getting to the game, finishing it.
We got to come back more hungry. We won that hungry last year. We got to come back more motivated and play as a team.
Teddy Young enters year 2 as head coach of Knoxville County with a team that has all the motivation they need to win a state title. That drive is on full display with their approach to practice.
Bringing the group back that we lost last year championship. They hungry this year, so they at practice. They working hard and they ready for the grind.
We already know the playbook and the guys that's coming back. They young, a couple of them played last year, so they already know. You just got to regroup on a couple skill guys.
We got more leaders, and we already know what to do and how to approach practice and try to get the young guys to work.
Because of the program's winning tradition, players and coaches take pride in being a part of this team.
I went through the program. I ain't seen the great athletes come through, so for me to be part of the next group of great athletes, it's a big thing for me.
People that came through, they were good and made it a good tradition. And it's the best program to be a part of.
I grew up in Mississippi, so I come to work every day, try to get better.
The Tigers have to fill the void left behind by quarterback Marlon Wyndham as they head into the season.
It's going to be a big loss, but he did a lot of things for us, offensive, defensive, but I'm excited about the quarterback room that we have and also about the younger guys that we got coming on the defensive side. So it's going to be a group effort, but I think we'll get the job done.
That group effort is going to be necessary since the defending 3A North champs will receive everyone's best shot, a position players love that they're in.
So we love press, we love adversity, that bring out the real team that we got. We love to take on it.
Everybody in 3A, they gunning for us because they want to win it just like we do. All we had to do come work harder than everybody else.
Knoxville kicks off its title pursuit hosting Shannon September 4th. With the Tigers on the high school football tour, Chris Bolton, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Knoxville County High School is brought to you by Macon City Drug, your hometown pharmacy.
3A is officially out of the way as we head into Academy Week on the high school football tour. Take a look at some of the upcoming stops that we can expect over the next week or so. Stop number 33 to kick off Academy Week features Calhoun Academy coming up on Friday. And then heading into the weekend, we've got stop number 34, Hebron Christian on Saturday. To close out the weekend, stop number 35 on Sunday with the Starkville Academy Volunteers. To kick off your week on Monday, we check in with the reigning champs. Stop number 36, Heritage Academy right here in Columbus. Stop number 37 checks in with Winston Academy coming up on Tuesday. Stop number 38 on Wednesday checks in with Oak Hill Academy. Stop number 39 on Thursday checks in with Winona Christian Stars. And then going into the following weekend, stop number 40, already in the 40s by then. Can you believe that? We check in with the Columbus Christian Rams. And then to finish out the weekend on Saturday, stop number 41, Victory Christian. Of course, for any of those stops you may have missed, you can always go visit our website at WCBI.com. That's it for sports. More for you when we come back after the break.
Our Friday will feature more of the same highs in the low to mid-90s. At times, the heat index could be over 100 degrees. There will likely be some spotty showers and storms, probably from late morning on into the afternoon through about sunset or shortly thereafter. We'll just copy and paste that through the weekend, too. Better rain chances got for the middle of next week. But summer is here.
And the bright side of that whole forecast is tomorrow's Friday, the end of the work week.
Hallelujah.
Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.